Welcome back, possibly for the last time, probably for the last time, to Going Ultra Season 2. I'm going to be talking about Ultraman, Episode 13. And it's funny, it occurred to me as I was thinking about this episode, both while I was watching it and then after I'd finished, that with all the talk of pacifism I have shared and all my anti-war and, violence is a scary bad thing, all that kind of goes out the window because this episode had amazing displays of brutality and violence that really pleased me. And it's not so much the brutality, it's more the heroic violence, but I'll talk about that as we go through. So, wow. Yeah, well, anyway, I'm going to be quiet for a moment and I want to show a clip of something and then react to it. The following clip will be purposefully kept quiet, but something interesting is that it highlights a trope, a move done in Tokusatsu a lot where an energy beam is split and then it goes behind the person and either dissipates or explodes or whatever. But the way it's handled in this little bit is really satisfying to me. It was so good. I was wondering, here it comes, why all these mooks were here. I think they were partly there to have Seiji look extra cool fighting them off, but then also to give him the ability to, have those guys be hit. And I just thought that was really cool. I really dig it. Good on you. So this next thing, I'm going to talk over the clip, is me and Seiji using his, it's a big gambit, it's a big final move that he uses against Ace Killer here. And, he's able to use it in desperation to accomplish his goal. And I guess, I had kind of criticized him a little bit for being willing to use his Ultra brothers, let's call them. But the guy really put himself on the line. I mean, pulling a maneuver like this, he did it in close quarters, so he had to be stabbed in order to do it. I mean, he probably could have done it differently, but it's how he took it. It's where he took the opportunity to do it, and it's a great surprise move. It actually reminds me of Cyborg 009, the way their bodies move and stuff, and the way their bodies conceal the weaponry, but that's neither here nor there. Just thought I'd throw it out there real quick. So, anyway, but that was really interesting. The main part of this section here is, I don't know if you noticed the text, it said, profound profanity. And that comes from a line from a song, basically. The concept is that violence taken for the sake of something noble can be a beautiful thing to observe. And, the heroic violence from the good guys here is really great. I loved watching it. Thinking about it, they're working against these mercenaries who did assassinate a bunch of people in the past, trying to complete the job of assassinating them, and Seiji as well. So really, these guys are working in self-defense, the Ultramen. And also these mercenaries don't care who they kill. Were other people on the oil rig where they thought Yuko was that they blew up, and did they kill other people? I wouldn't be surprised if they did, and I bet they do not care if they did. So, the violence against them, I feel, is very much justified, even from my more pacifistic point of view. So, anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next bit, which basically just consists of a lot of cool stuff, like when Shinjiro finally embraces his Ultramanhood and then goes crazy on Ace Killer. I mean, that's just a fantastic move. I mean, to finish, gosh, I mean, it's so well choreographed, so imaginative. Like, this is what you would do with those superpowers, I guess, if you had to utilize them. I love this, Matrix nod here. That's super cool. And then Shinjiro goes ahead and explains what he's been doing and what he needs to do with his power. And I'm going to kind of let the clip play and then talk about it afterwards. So, here we go.
I was given the power to protect. It's my duty to use that power.
This ain't right. Why am I having so much trouble with a lousy human?
The answer was right in front of me the whole time.
You! What the hell are you?
Me? I'm Ultraman.
So honestly, it was a little bit hokey, and I could see it coming, but I loved it because it's just so. I mean, that's kind of what you come to Tokusatsu and also like a lot of heroic fiction for anyway. That setup of like Shinjiro is basically talking out loud to himself, and Ace Killer is asking all these questions and struggling with him, and then it's who are you? Me? I'm Ultraman. That he's finally embraced this role of being somebody who has to take lives to save more lives at times. And there's an interesting concept that I recently watched SSSS.Gridman, which had, well, it dealt with the concept of an immortal villain. And this obviously deals with the concept of an immortal villain because Ace Killer was supposedly immortal, hadn't died in 300 years, whatever. But for now, at least he's dead, thanks to the Specium Ray. And gosh, the... and Shinjiro's, proper execution of it or implementation of it. But really interesting to me is that you have this guy who doesn't want to take lives, who hesitated to take lives, who was slow to do it. But when there's, an immortal killer, unstoppable force seemingly, bent on destruction, he has no problem opening himself up to killing that. Because that act of killing, not only, which if you ask me from a philosophical standpoint makes sense because it'll save, untold thousands or millions or whatever across the galaxy, but it also, it doesn't make atonement for really the ones who have died already, but it stops him. And he is this malefic force just bent on destruction. And, if you can't redeem it, then you got to kill it, I guess, or isolate it somehow. But I don't know that any place could hold him. So anyway, it's funny that, like I said, the whole profound profanity thing, like the violence, it seems so righteous and just and beautiful and admirable for what it's achieving, and I just kind of feel funny about that. But I guess that's kind of what the heroic fiction is about to some extent. Of course, the good thing is that the guy who's most capable, who's most powerful, who's most able to do these things is Shinjiro and is Ultraman, the Ultraman, and he isn't happy to loose those powers upon anybody and everybody. Without provocation or without proper reason. So that's really great. Good golly, it is time to talk about Bemular and him saving. I don't know, that's probably not a smooth transition, but I'm talking about it now. Gosh, I really think, based on my speculation, that Bemular is possibly the Ultraman who originally took up residence in Shin Hayata. And, gosh, I really think so. Anyway, I love this turn in the show that he was just challenging, kind of like Moriboshi, you could say. He was just challenging Shinjiro to force him to grow into this greater being. And when the danger came for everybody, I think a bomb or whatever that was headed towards the Earth that big and powerful and coming in that fast would have killed like everybody on Earth, not just Shinjiro, Seiji, and Moriboshi. So it was really interesting, or it was really awesome to see Bemular come in and act at that point and save everybody. Like I didn't have any doubt that he would. It was really great to see, or I kind of did have a doubt, I guess, for a moment or two, but it was really awesome to see that, no, he, in fact, was there to save all of them. And I thought, they're done unless something big happens. I was thinking, is Shinjiro going to fly up there? Is he going to do something? But no, Bemular came along and did his own special rain, and then even took out the mercenary ship, so that was pretty cool. But, this guy is a complicated character, and I do not know who he is, and I wonder if he really is perhaps the original alien who took residence in Shin. That would be super fascinating. I don't know enough of the Ultraman canon to know that. Some of you do, though, so, if you know, let me know, share the information. I don't think it's, a bad spoiler or anything. I just think it's something interesting to discuss. And I like overall, if that's who he is, I love the misdirection of the manga, the story in the manga that is being adapted here, because it obviously carries through. And I think that's such a good idea to have that misdirect, because I saw Bemular as a villain. I was like, oh man, he's the first enemy. He's the first enemy of Ultraman. He's the first enemy of humanity. He's this big bad guy. But no, maybe he's the first enemy of, the Zeton, like I'd speculated earlier, or somebody else. But gosh, I'm so satisfied by it. And going to the point of maybe he's the one who saved Shin Hayata, there's this clip. The audio should be up on it. And I don't know. Tell me what you think about Shin's reaction here.
This is not my first time saving
I mean, technically, he probably had saved Seiji before, but I think the look on Shin's face, it seems like he might be wondering, is this the guy? So anyway, that was really cool. Gosh, I don't know. I don't know what to say. And then, like, what's going to happen with, he's taking Seiji away but does Bemula have a spaceship? Adad teleported. We've only ever seen Bemula, like, drift off, so I don't know what's going to happen there. But talking about what's going to happen, I want to talk about, like, going into the future. What do we think is going to happen? Like, anyway, I've got this image here of Jack. Jack kidnaps a tech dad, and I wonder why. A helicopter comes to pick him up. Oh, I can finally go home. Great. Are you an American, Jack? Is that what's going on? You're an Anglo in Japan at the time. Like, are you going over to America to make a, what? It was Powerful Rangers. Maybe you're making Ultranis Man or Ultraman Man, or, like, are you going to steal the technology and have this tech dad build stuff for the United States? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But definitely doesn't read like a Japanese guy to me. And then with the thing about going home, it's even more curious. So, oh boy. Yeah, I'm just really interested in what's going to happen. I think that this really was a decent point to stop the story so far. At least for the season 1 of the series. I'd mentioned inflection points before. Like, this is an inflection point. Shinjiro has gotten to the point where he understands that hesitating and refusing to act when he can do good by saving people and defending them and protecting their lives is not a good thing. His resolve has been firmed to save people. That doesn't mean he'll always kill, I think, to him, but it means that he will always act, and because he has the privilege of having the Ultra Factor, being born with Ultraman genes, being the son of Ultraman, he is going to exercise the obligation. There's this phrase, noblesse oblige, which popped up in Eden of the East and other places, which is the obligation of the noble, or which in this case, you could call him nobility, I guess. But those who have the power to act for the greater good or to, service humanity, or those around them at minimum, should. And, even if it's a criminal, even if it's a, black, or someone like cheating on their wife, or, somebody that like Seiji was trying to blackmail, like Shinjiro still wanted to act to help those people. And that's a good impulse because there is room for redemption. Like, Bemula looked like a bad guy. Had Shinjiro been able to kill him before, we wouldn't have, like, the Earth would have been doomed, or at least these guys would have. Anyway, life is messy, but, like, not snuffing out and stamping out and shouting down those who, we disagree with creates an opportunity for change and for improvement and growth that killing and destroying immediately doesn't provide. And anyway, I could go off on that, but I mean, I don't have much else to say about the show specifically, so I want to wrap this up right now. I loved this show. It was really great. I'm hoping that it gets renewed, or season 2 is greenlit. Like, there was that article the other day that I read that I think it was like more speculation than anything, but I would love concrete news that they're going to do it, and I'm going to promote it to people and tell people they should check it out if they haven't yet, because it was such good stuff. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You can check out all my other stuff. I've got playlists of this and King of Hearts, Queen of Sorrows, which is coming back. I'm going to probably release an episode tomorrow, Friday, the 19th. The 19th, just to get things out there, get them going again. Remember, I have everything mirrored over at mjmunoz.com, and if you want to help me out financially so I can keep doing this stuff and do it all better and more of it, hit me up at coffee.com/mjmunoz. I really enjoyed covering this series, even though it put me off of doing King of Hearts, Queen of Sorrows and another writer cast, but I'm working really hard to find the balance, and hopefully if you're enjoying this and you enjoy my content, you'll get a much steadier stream or flow of it. Even if you want to take a while off, I'm going to come back in a month or two when this guy's done talking about, thing X that I'm not that interested in. If you keep up your subscription, hopefully something that interests you more will come around, and you'll get to check that out. But also, anyway, I'm just rambling at this point, so I'll go ahead and stop, and I'll say thanks for watching and commenting, all you who did. It's been fun.